right. So Brisco, man, we've been talking about your career, but I can't leave out one of the biggest parts of your career was you're linking up and always staying true to your po' boy roots. And that was shown specifically with your relationship with Flor Rida, man. So you were on the Flor Rida Roots album, man, and you were really, really showed out on, I think, like 4 different songs. Now, what was it like working with Flor Rida?
Really easy. So he's so musically inclined in all genres. He can sing. He can do everything. So when he came to, I welcomed him with open arms, the same way that Wayne welcomed me with open arms. You know what I'm saying? So, and that was prior to me even signing with Wayne. That Flor Rida came to po' boy. But yeah, my po' boy roots go deep, man. We brothers first. You know what I'm saying? We're not friends. We're friends that was converted to family. So we family.
But I mean,
my brother, he has obtained so much success, man, and I was able to work on that album and work on that Mail on Sunday album. That shit was amazing, and it took us to a whole nother level internationally. So yeah, that was crazy. That whole thing took me overseas.
And that's probably the biggest point anybody would think about with Flor Rida is the fact that, you know, Flor Rida is and especially at that time and still to this day is an international superstar. It's such a different level of things, you know what I'm saying? Because, you know, you go overseas to, you know, Europe, to the Arab Emirates, all over you know, Asia, you know, Japan and China. And Flor Rida is a humongous star. And to be a feature on that album as well, it's like, man, people would be looking at your career, like I said, like, man, this dude was in the right place at the right time through each step of these different changes in the hip hop industry. So you're on tour, like you've been working with Flor Rida, you appear on Mail on Sunday, right? Then you double back and you're on 4 different albums on the Roots album. But at this point, when Flor Rida drops the Roots album, he's at that level. Him, Pitbull, Akon, they just traveling the world doing global arenas. At that time, had you had any experience to get on the road and work with Flor Rida and actually travel with him?
Yeah, basically, you know, at that time he was at a pinnacle in the height of his career. He was moving around crazy. So, and like I said, I was moving around with Wayne too. So it was like, I had my own, you know, my Brisco campaign had just launched. So I definitely was moving around. We was moving around. I was anytime I had some free time, I could get out on the road and jump on his show. I definitely get on that road and go overseas if I had to get on that road with Flo. Hell yeah. Pitbull was going crazy at that time. Sean Kingston was going crazy at that time. Shit was lit.
Now, I could only imagine being a rapper in South Florida at that time, man. Your phone you had to change numbers every week, huh?
Well, of course. I don't think I had a concrete phone at that time.
Yeah, I get it, man, because it was a lot of motion. But like to be featured on Roots 4 different times, or you know, 4 different, like what was that? What was that experience, man? Could you tell me about that?
I mean, anytime we prepared for an album, we locked in as a collective, you know, when it came to, you know, supporting each other's albums. So it was only right. It was so many vibes that was set. There was so many good records that we did. It was only right that I was on so many records.
Nice, man. Nice. Now, with working with Flor Rida, was that an in-studio experience, and how did that go? Because it's a lot of different huge stars on that album. You know what I'm saying? Like international stars.
I mean, most of the records that we did, me and Flor Rida did, we did it together. You know, a couple records he did with other people, I think, you know, via email, and you know what I'm saying, we did it over you know what I'm saying? So like,
now was that the start of when people first started sending tracks and sending files and stuff like that?
No, man, like I said, after Mail on Sunday, he was gone. He had got his deal. Carter 3, I had my deal. You know, Roots and all that. Like, you understand, that time we was gone. Like, you know, our dreams was coming true. We was inking our deals and on the road. You know what I'm saying? So everybody had their own shit going on, but we knew that the Roots was coming out. So guess what we had to do? We had to lock in and make sure this shit was a success and it was a platinum album.
Now, what's cool is you're essentially signed to Universal when you look at the major label, and he was signed to Warner if you look at the bigger label, right?
Right.
So those are kind of competitors, but still that you guys reached across, stretched that olive branch and reached across to each other and started and we're working on each other's projects, right?
I mean, yeah. I mean, when it came to the Po' Boy family, it's like certain things a major label couldn't tell us. You know what I'm saying? And we always had creative control over what we wanted to do, how we made our music. We weren't never filtered or blocked from doing certain things with the music. So shit. I think the process of us being, Po' Boy was what kept us together and what trumped a lot of decisions that was made when it came to the labels and me being on records or me getting looks or anything like that.
Nice. Nah, it's good to hear that because you don't hear that a lot. Like people having that sort of loyalty and respect for each other's craft and their original relationship and bond. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're right.
Now, to this day, do you keep any kind of contact with Flor Rida or it does? Okay,
man, we had the greatest debates and arguments and brotherhood of life. So, I mean, it used to be a fly on the wall to hear the names that we call each other, but you could also was on our bank accounts and seeing how much wires and money we trade. You know what I'm saying? It kind of overrides the bullshit that we go through. And as brothers, we go through things and we handle and face them head on. So yeah, man, I talk to Flor Rida every day.
Okay, that's dope. That's dope, man. Because I had heard a story that Fat Joe had told about Flor Rida, where I don't know if you've seen the clip, where he was like basically like Flor Rida, and they asked him to come like do some sort of party or something, and it was like down the street. And Fat Joe was like, he called Flor Rida, was like, "Hey man, I'm over here, I'm getting this money." They like offered me $100,000, and Flor Rida was at his house, like he could see Flor Rida's house, and Flor Rida was like, yeah, that's not my price, man. Like my price ain't 100,000. It's something crazy. It was like 200,000, something crazy. Or maybe, like,
I mean, a man's price is a man's price.
I ain't mad at it either, bro. I ain't mad at it either. Now, I got to ask you this as well. Do you have any crazy stories that you could tell from being on the road with Flor Rida?
We flew into Dubai. Beautiful flight, Emirates. We living big. It's going to be a big trip. We working one of these days, but the rest of the days we for the vibe and enjoy Dubai. So I had to smuggle 2 ounces of weed. Long story short, we land 3 Bentleys to pick us up from the airport. We me and Flo jump in 1 Bentley. I go in my bag and start unraveling, just after. My smuggle, I done wrapped this weed so many times in my sock and it's a bandana and some other shit. So I get the weed out. So the driver smells the weed and says, "Is that weed? It's forbidden here. You'll be beaten 3 days in the desert or you'll be jailed for 56 nights." Hold on. Man, I rolled down my window and threw all that weed out the window. So, that just showed me, I was smoking hookah and everything. I lost my appetite for the rest of the trip. But that shit just showed me that that was a crazy ass spot.
Yeah, they say most people have a problem with that, especially if if you're a daily smoker or something like that. You go over to UAE and whatnot, and they've got really strict laws because they've locked a lot of celebrities up behind that, right?
Of course, they still got some. I heard.
Yeah, true. True. Like there's rumors that yes, there's a Floyd Mayweather can't get out of there right now. All that, man. So it's like they don't play. They don't play there, right?
Yeah.
Now what about this story about Mexico, man? I think I heard something about that, man. What happened in Mexico with Flor Rida?
I'm on tour with Flor Rida. We in Mexico, man. Listen. Flor Rida performs a 45-minute set. I forget what part of Mexico it was, but it was a nice part. After we perform, we finna walk down off the stage. Flo's dripping in wet, dripping in sweat, man. Just like he's ready to go shower up, change, so get back to the hotel. God stops us and like, nah, y'all have to perform again. There's some guys, there's a whole crowd outside that wants you guys to perform again. You know what I'm saying? So we like, hell no, we not performing again. Especially when talking about no money, they wanted us to perform again for free. So we like that. So we go for try to find our vans. They're gone. So we get into this other. They tell us that okay, they're going to take y'all back to the hotel. Instead of taking us back to the hotel, they take us to back to fucking court.
Whoa, that's crazy.
So when we get there, we like, what the going on? They like, yo, this could be a riot. You guys need to perform. So luckily, the head guy over there was a Flor Rida fan. And he was like, okay, I get it. You know what I'm saying? And we made a few calls back to the U.S. I don't know if they called it embassy, but we got picked up that same night. You know what I'm saying? But that was like the craziest shit ever.
Now, were you guys like sweating because Mexico's got a reputation of being very dangerous.
Man, listen, I was scared as shit. First of all, I don't know no Spanish. You know what I'm saying? It was just that was an experience.
And like Martin said on that movie, I can't remember the name of the movie, but nobody wants to go to jail in Mexico, right?
I'm telling you. I heard that shit it's stone. It's, you know what I'm saying? I heard it's nothing but stone, it's metal, and I'm straight.
Yeah, I think everybody good on that. But eventually you guys made it out of that situation all right, huh?
Of course. Yes.